Hey, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, so I'm still thrown off by Zoom telling us that we're recording and everybody has to click buttons. I think it's a great safety feature. It's just discombobulating because I've been playing on Zoom for a long time. I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the fifth and final session of our May game of Star Wars Saturdays. We're playing Bounty of the Week, which is started off as a reskin. I think I can just call it a hack now of Monster of the Week from Evil Hat, hacked for Star Wars play in the vein of things like Mandalorian. This is run for The Gauntlet, which is an amazing group of online friends, fans, and aficionados of small press, indie, and OSR tabletop role-playing games. Every month, I offer up a different RPG system set in the Star Wars universe. Sometimes I reskin, sometimes I full-on hack them. And folks from the Gauntlet will RSVP via our website, gather together, create characters, and tell a story. So it is an anthology that is ongoing, and we're near the Mandalorian timeframe, although, close enough, right? We're not going to get down to the exactly number ABY, because then people's heads start to hurt. By people, I mean me. Let's go around the horn and have everyone introduce themselves and their character. Just a real brief reminder of everyone before we jump right back into play. Cisco, if you could, kick it off for us. Tell us about yourself and your character.
Hello, my name is Francisco. I go by Cisco on the Gauntlet. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Talon Gendro, the bounty hunter. And I have a plug this week, Rich, for all your viewership out there. Is that okay? Did I have a plug? All right. I will be GMing a game of Pasión de las Pasiones on June 25th for our upcoming online convention called GCOG, and I will be doing that Friday 9 a.m. and Saturday 9 a.m. It's my own setting. It takes place at a deaf university, and Pasión de las Pasiones is just rife for looking at all that drama and exploring that. So I'm very excited. Please sign up. Interesting thing about Talon Gendro, he once used to wrangle foam balls for a living, Rich. Do you know what they called him?
No.
They called him a nerf herder, Rich.
He was a nerf herder. An actual nerf herder. Oh, that's great. That's not an insult, Okay, that's great. Thank you so very much. You got me with that one. That was good. Steven, you're up. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Steven. My pronouns are he, him. Today I'm playing Jody, whose pronouns are she, they, and Jody is a droid who is independent and has developed her own personality and has recently acquired a crew. She had started with a buzz droid. One of the moves is detachable parts. So I have this buzz droid that helps with translation and also sneaks around and is a little bit just kind of a tricksterish. In the last session, we liberated a large portion of people from a jail, and a number of these were droids that were liberated. So the security droid, CS-244, was handed a gun and he helped us get out. CS is very no nonsense. He takes everything literally. Then we have a medical droid who's just very kind and very generous and kind of a motherly type character. We have an Astromech Droid, A8LT, who thinks he's better than organics. He was probably there to help process the data that was incoming from the mind that was attached to the jail. And then we have DJ8, who is a sassy pit droid that's sort of like a Jack Russell Terrier, just runs into things, doesn't think about it, and just, mouths off all the time.
The picture for this pit droid, it just wins the internet for me today. That is so good. Thank you, Steven. Now, friends, we're no longer playing Bounty of the Week. We're playing the assorted gang of droids. No, let's continue forward. But there will be bits of that. Brandon, you're up. If you could introduce yourself, tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I've been loving the Gauntlet since I joined it in the middle of last year. And my character is Jocasta, who is, this play uses the sensitive playbook. Jocasta is from Malaria, a culture that worships beauty, where beauty is status, and where the scions of nobility, of which Jocasta is one, are genetically engineered to be gorgeous. When Jocasta developed force powers, a series of events occurred that resulted in her being outcast from her home. Nobody wants someone who can look below surfaces too much in a culture like this. She took to bounty hunting after she heard that her sister Jakarta had vanished on the eve of her political marriage to another prominent family, which was there to cement a truce that had taken place between the two. And a lot of bad blood has resulted from that. She has recently learned that Jakarta has been found and taken back to Ilaria by her betrothed, allegedly. Although this is somewhat incredible, it's prompting a trip to Ilaria to find out what the real situation is. Jocasta is a mixture of bitterness and kindness, each of them warring to get to the surface of her personality. And she has recently given into the dark side in order to rescue someone from a bad person.
Spooky, spooky, spooky. Last but certainly not least, Danielle, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yes, I am Danielle, pronoun she, her, and I'm playing a Wynn Kessick, who is a new bounty hunter, a trainee, still in training, and I think that she has a collection of, and she keeps them, I don't know if she's pulled them out yet, I think she has a collection of like little bounty hunter hollow cards stuff like that, probably something that that maybe Talon started. Maybe there's definitely one of him for sure, like posing with the disintegrator for absolutely. But I think that that they were something that she ran across back on her homeworld, like when she was farming, and it was just like cool big city, like everybody's posing in very like cyberpunk ways, and it's very it was something that was that she kind of collected because like, oh, that's cool, I want to be notable someday. And so, and even though she ended up loving rocket skate and got to the Black Orchard spaceport via rocket skating, falling into bounty hunting is something that has helped her try to make a name for herself. So that is her fact. And yeah, I think Stephen, if it's okay with you, I think she's probably been like trying to get the droids to race each other up and down the hallways, or at least DJ, like she's like, all right, how fast can you go? And has definitely been like zooming up and down the hallways with them, probably knocking prisoners over or our passengers.
Wow, I would imagine that A8 and DJ8 would be the two that would take you up on that. Although, I don't know, would Val race Jody, do you think?
No, I think Val would just kind of sneak around and maybe try and pop out at the, cheat and, find a little shortcut or something like that. And I imagine DJ would actually try and steal one of the rocket skates, but only one, and like scoot off and be like crazily denting the hull of the ship and stuff like that.
So yeah, you definitely see like that happen, and you definitely see Wynn on one skate going, hey, come back here, you sneaky little, assortment of Star Wars names, derogatory names.
Nice. I like it. Cool. So we pick up with all of the crew and a few of your extra prisoner escapees on the Raptor, your rather large ship, impressive ship. And I think, like, we, of course, will see the little race that, I don't know, when do you giggle with delight, or is it just a thing where you've got like a visor on and you're writing down odds for the two droids that are participating in the races that you keep trying to?
Yeah, I think that she's got like a whistle and is like standing at the front and is like trying to like organize the whole thing, and she's having them race and then she races them. That she's like, all right, the winner, I'll take the winner on.
Nice. And no matter who wins and who loses, GH7A is very congratulations. Oh, you were so wonderful. I was so impressed. And they come over to whoever is dead last and say, oh, but this bit that you did here was quite, and it's very conciliatory. It's very warm and thoughtful, and actually it shows that GH, while they are trying to take care of hurt feelings, really was paying attention. And so yeah, I think that's the opening scene that we have as races down. As I look at the Raptor layout, there are some real long straightaways if you head down to the cargo deck. I think that's probably the place where you guys are. Maybe you're in section 2 of the cargo deck, which is the cargo bay with stairs to the main deck. Maybe you end up racing them, spring off the stairs there and racing down towards the area near the shielded storage room / brig, or the vehicle equipment deploying bay or deployment bay. And I think, Talon, you are up front, right? You are the pilot. And while our ship, as we start off, we see the stars streaking by because you are in light speed.
Could I have a short
Yes.
scene with GH, and then maybe an alarm goes off that causes me to go to the front?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
as GH is offering congratulations to every participant, they're winners just for trying, according to GH.
I think at some point I want to have a scene with GH where like I am like stretched out on like a long piece of furniture and GH is just sitting down with a clipboard, and and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't race because I want to harm myself. This is not a way for me to escape. And she's just like, ooh, bah. And she's like, look, I know what you're saying, but I don't think this has any connection to my family. Ooh, bah. And I'm like, so what you're saying is that my hyperactive super ego is due to the fact that my mother was critical, and the fact that my father left when I was early means that I'm not emotionally available, and I use racing as an escape. And she doesn't say anything, and she just takes out some sort of pastry.
Nice.
And hands it to me. Yeah. And she just hands it to me. And he like sits up and he's like, this is a lot to think about. I would really like to. And then you hear like ding. Ooh, bah. What do you mean time is up? What do you mean time is up? We just started talking. And then I think that's when we hear maybe an alarm that summons me to the front.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, and when you come to the front, you see that Nakub Reven is in the pilot's chair. It's fine, I have it. Flicks a couple toggle switches.
Is the co-pilot's chair available?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Talon is smart enough to not mess with someone behind the controls so that we don't crash. But he's definitely going to try to sit in Jody's seat, and he's going to be very uncomfortable. Also, because Jody's seat is probably more like customized for a droid, so it's all pokey in the wrong places.
And there's little plugins and stuff.
Yeah,
It's just like a pillar.
yeah,
That's
what I was
just
thinking.
it's all he needs is a hard point, and to click into.
Very uncomfortable. I think I'll just glare at him for now.
Or you're good. You just have a seat. You're gonna let Nakub continue to pilot.
I'm gonna let him continue to pilot, but okay, yeah, let's explore this. I'll say so about my payment for springing you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I figure I'll pay you by being your new pilot. Because you obviously look where you've set these toggles makes no sense. We really need to pull it out and reorder it. So yeah, you're welcome.
No, it makes perfect sense. This whole ship was a mess. I'm shocked that it flew at all. I've recalibrated the triolic cadmium propulsor. I've scrapped the optronic afterburn controls, and I replaced them, and I updated your astrogation chart. You had astrogation charts from before the Empire. How do you fly
got
like
me where
that?
I wanted to go.
Well, it's no longer going to get you where you want to go unless you're a passenger here in my ship. Because your payment is, and I'm going to essentially throw him a number that is about double what the Raptor is worth.
Nice.
So I can start talking him down.
And then he turns and he looks at you with those big, huge, kind of like burnt sienna eyes of his, and he says, "Here's what I'll pay you. I won't tell the galaxy that you've never, ever disintegrated anyone. That's what I'll do. My silence is worth more than your 20 payout."
I think you and I both know that the galaxy is not going to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call his bluff.
Ooh, you're going to call his bluff?
I am. Because I like to live dangerously.
Sweet. Let's see if you can manipulate him to shut up or push this right here and now.
Do it. I don't think. Could I have the link to the dice roller again, Rich? I'm sorry.
You bet. And on the die roller is always linked in the way off on the right because there's a bajillion tabs.
Oh, there it is.
Safety and, yeah, but I was going to drop it in chat anyway. I usually do that, and I didn't do it this time around.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's do it. Oof. We got an 8.
An 8? That sounds delightful. So
it does.
Manipulating someone on a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. And you want him to shut up because it's just not going to work. He says, "I'll just keep piloting, and we'll keep our secrets to ourselves, right? Yeah, I'll let it go."
You bet you will. And you still owe me money.
Some money. Yeah, for sure. I do appreciate being let free. Maybe if I had the Unta Gunta back, then I wouldn't care so much about losing the Raptor. Huh?
What will that look like?
Well, it's sending him, an Imperial impound yard, so we'd need to break it out. You're good for that, aren't you?
It depends. How much is it? How much is in it for me?
Well, let's say once I crew her up, for the first 6 months, I'll get you 15% of our profit. Hmm? Hmm? Hmm?
You want me to go into business with you?
Well, I don't have much else to offer since I was just recently sprung from an Imperial prison.
Oh, but I think you and I both know that when you go into a prison, you come out with a bunch of information of where you can find money.
Well, where do you think you're getting your 15% from?
Mm. I'll agree to this. I'll go into business with him. And I think
Nice.
you'll see Talon's Leku like flip up, and then they like smack each other, and then they smack each one of his hands, and then he puts out his hand in a very Twi'lekian way of making a deal.
Nice. I don't think the Coob's sticky fingers are gonna like shake your Leku, so he'll kind of stare for a moment. You're so weird. And then he'll awkwardly do like a. Then he reaches down and grabs your hand and shakes that. There. Not a stupid Twi'lek.
Now get out of my seat.
He does this like head roll, shoulder shake, and he slides out of the seat. And,
Awesome. A ship for a ship. Sounds good. We're going into business together.
That's a great deal. It's a good deal. It's going to work out in the end for you, for sure. What about Jody? So most of your gang are racing. You see as DJ8 like zips by on a rocket skate at one point. But it's just one rocket skate. So I imagine he's a pit droid, right? So he's kind of hunkered down over the rocket skate, but most of his little pit droid body is on either side of it. So he's precariously balanced. He's holding onto the very front of it, trying to manipulate it as he zips past. And what is Jody up to?
So I think Jody is sort of running the equivalent of like puppy patrol.
I have an idea.
What's that?
I have an idea, if you will, Stephen.
Okay.
Jocasta is standing in front of Jody, and she has a set of paints, and she's saying, "Come on now. Believe me, it'll make things a lot easier where we're going, and you can take it off afterwards."
Paints?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What are you going to do?
I'm going to chrome you up
Oh, nice.
and give you something better to wear. Otherwise, they'll just immediately throw you into the, servant droid should not be seen category.
I kind of like that. I kind of like being the servant droid. As you're chroming me up, I'm like, they expect less from a servant droid.
Yes, you can still be a servant droid, but you'll be an inside one rather than the one that takes out the garbage.
I see. And basically, I think that, Jody protests a little bit as you're like, oh, and this, this would look great, and you need to make this up and everything. And in order to be successful, you need this swirl to your, to the ornamentation and everything. But I think secretly Jody likes it. She's like, oh, it makes me pretty.
Yes. So Jocasta is is tricking Jody out, the best she can, given the material.
Very nice.
But yeah, chrome chrome and you know, and strong colors and you know, a robe or something like that to cover the machinery parts that can't really be painted, and the net result's pretty striking.
Nice.
It's, you know, you look more like the protocol droid that you once were at some point.
And I think during this process, occasionally Jody has to step away. And I think she's kind of on puppy patrol is the way I would term it, where these newly freed droids aren't used to having their own independence, which is why like DJ is running around stealing things and that kind of thing.
Mm.
And she has to kind of, you know, I think at some point later on, she sits down with them and says, okay, this is proper etiquette around the other people. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. And like, they don't want to pay attention. They're just kind of running around. But I think now is a good time for me to try out my one of my moves, which is Dark Past. So in doing so, I think what I'd like to do is with Jocasta's, you know, discussion of the society that she has, you know, that we're headed towards, as well as my interaction with the droids to see what's in their data banks. I troll my memories for something relevant to the case at hand.
Nice.
So let's see what I can find out. I
All
roll
right.
with tech.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10 and my tech is a 1, so that's an 11.
Wow. On a 10 plus, you get to ask the GM 2 questions from a list.
Okay. And the list is, let's see, I think I like the last one, which is, who do I know who can help us right now?
Interesting. Who do you know who can help you right now vis-a-vis dealing with Ularia? As I glance through our NPCs so that I don't have to come up with brand new folks, who could help you?
Besides present company, yes.
Besides Presence Company,
yeah.
of course.
So if you're looking for something, it could be one of the droids had been there before or something like that.
Oh, that could be fun. Baby, oh, here we go. Yeah, so I think A8LT was on Tor's ship when he arrived. And he just left the Astromech Droid because it's sarcastic. He said something along the lines of, you can wipe its memory. I don't care. I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
So we can use, like, maybe if we need plans or something like that, we can end up pulling that off of A8's memory bank system.
Yeah, you know about Tor's Palace and like the layout of it. I'm sorry?
The approach lanes.
Oh yeah, there you approach lanes. Everything from the various like pools and the gardens and the underground catacombs and all the ins and outs of the place.
So then my second question will be, what hidden lore do I know that could help here? And specifically, I'm angling for what has politically been happening since Jocasta's left.
Cool. So what you find is that Jocasta was exiled, and that caused a huge stir among everyone. And Jakarta, let's see. So Brandon, I just want to make sure I have the timeline right. So Jakarta was like disappeared first, and then Jocasta was exiled because she started speaking out, or
no, Jocasta was exiled because of her force powers, effectively.
Okay.
You know, she had a series of incidents when her force powers came out, and they and the pressure was on immediately. You know, sensitives are not, except for the very few designed ones. You know, random force sensitives don't fit.
Okay, so Jakarta had nothing to do with that exile. She was still left on planet.
Jakarta fought for Jocasta to stay.
Okay.
And so Jakarta was like Jocasta's only contact with her home planet for a while. And then Yeah, there was a big roil after that, you know, and a lot of anger and frustration, and that may have contributed to, you know, the rift between two families that was all but ready to kind of break out into a little internecine, you know, Cold War. And so they proposed, you know, the classic, you know, a dynastic marriage.
Gotcha. Okay, so the marriage was arranged after Jocasta and kind of as a result of Jocasta's exile.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, one last question about Jocasta before I swing back to try to answer Jody's question. Was Jocasta's family the like more well-established nobility who've been around for centuries and their titles worth more than, say, their actual financial capability? Or do you imagine that Jocasta and her family were more of the kind of middle to upper class that rose to royalty more recently through success, financial success, and kind of rising up from the mercantile class to buy a title?
No, just Jocasta's family is old nobility.
Okay.
They're not as wealthy as some, but they have ancient title, and so their kind of rules and ideas about who fits and who doesn't are rigid.
Cool. So then, Jody, what happened after Jocasta was exiled is that it brought a good deal of like shame about the breeding amongst Jocasta's people, and Prince Tor swooped in to save the family. Prince Tor, from like, he's a second generation noble that his father had bought their title, and so they're very nouveau riche and beautiful, of course, but also looked down upon because they didn't earn it. You know, they're not the true nobility. So he's kind of angled to buy his way into the status of Jocasta's family by marrying Jakarta, but also he had enough money, marketing capability, money to put in people's hands so they would look the other way. So things got really unsettled for a while, and then Jakarta disappeared, and from that point there was like a whole to do. It was very scandalous but also super exciting, and then Tor left with his small fleet of ships. This really nice space yacht came, picked her up, and yeah, he didn't have to hunt at all. He just showed up, from what the Astromech Droid told you. He just it's like he got a heads up. Hey, here's where Jakarta is. I'll go pick her up.
Can I expound upon that a little bit?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
So basically, I think that while we're discussing this, Jocasta, I think some of this is coming back to, you know, Jody's like relating information about where on the ship they were, or ship things, or just things that aren't really pertinent, and doesn't really understand a lot about the politics and ongoing stuff. So you kind of have to translate, you know, in your mind what Jody is saying versus what ends up happening. But one of the things, if you don't mind me saying this, I think one of the things that happens is we find out that Tor has basically spread the story that Jakarta was kidnapped and had sent out, you know, to save face, you know, at the court. It wasn't that she ran away, she was kidnapped, and it wasn't really her choice. And he's been sending people out to find her, you know, so that he doesn't look as bad.
Well, she was kidnapped. I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it was when I had a force breakthrough. We had the scene, in fact, of Jakarta being grabbed by unknown assailants.
Yes.
Jakarta wouldn't have run. She's a good girl. She says Jocasta with a little hint of bitterness in her voice. She was grabbed, but the question is by who?
You mean
would-
she obeys when necessary?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was willing to put family above her own feelings.
We should remove her restraining bolt as well.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Remember, you're going into, you know, okay. Well, I'm glad you decided to take the paint job, but this is, you know, we need to look the part at least a little bit. And I have no idea how they're going to react to my coming back. Technically, if I come back, I'm a criminal.
Do you want to come back? Do you need a disguise as well?
I'm not going to disguise myself.
Well, I think we should at least disguise A8. Maybe make them look a little bit more grungy, because if Tor notices his, Astromech come back, he'll know everything about what we've been doing. So I think Jody goes and starts, bolting some stuff on to make A8 look a little bit different and more grungy.
Yes, that seems wise. But no, if they're going to arrest me, then let them fucking arrest me.
Oh. So since you're talking about this, can Jody put a tracker on Jocasta? Like, disguise this as sort of like some jewelry or something like that. And I'd like to put a tracker on her, just in case we get separated.
Are you doing that with permission, or just like, that's a thing, that's a good idea, I'm gonna...
Oh, no. I think this is, it's with permission. And I think Jody says, can I borrow that bracelet that you have there?
All right.
And I think that's whenever it'll be like, okay, let me go over and I'll take a couple of pieces that I my spare parts bin and everything, and see if I can't drop a little tracker into the bracelet and then give it back.
You're not weaponizing it, right?
Oh, no. It's just a little tracker, so we'll be able to see where you are.
Palace is full of things that detect weapons.
Ah.
So be careful with any technology that might seem like a weapon to detectors.
So I think I turned to all of the other crew members and droids and all that kind of stuff that we have, and tell them we should be careful, because we might not be able to get our weapons in because of the detectors that Jocasta's told us about. So,
I mean, most of the planet's fine, but the inner sanctums of the nobility, these are very wealthy people, and they have really good things to prevent assassination because it's been used in the past.
ooh, that'd be good to look up. So I think Jody, whenever we get done with this, is going to go off and start, looking at the Astromech, the recordings that we have of history and everything like that, just to kind of beef up a little bit.
Cool.
I'm curious, does being covered in chrome make Jody feel like, does it feel familiar to like a previous life at all?
I don't know. Do you, I think it would be one of those things Jody doesn't really notice. It might feel a little bit different, but at some point, if we want to have a scene or we want to have a break, where it's like, oh, now's the time where Jody remembers blah, 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 we can definitely roll with that.
I just thought protocol droid being all shiny, I didn't know if it was gonna kick up anything for her.
Interesting.
Fun.
Jocasta is also going to help Bing with her hair.
Well, actually, so Jocasta's hair, yeah, that's the thing. So Tracina's been here
Yes.
during this entire conversation with Jody and Jocasta, just quietly, meekly, she just finds a corner and she just shadows in the corner. And when Jody is all chromed up and fixed, she'll slide closer to Jocasta. I've been studying Galarian hairstyles. and would very much like to help you look your best if that's appropriate.
Yes. I'm going to have to put together an outfit, but if you can do my hair, that would be excellent.
Yes?
If they're going to reject me again, then I'm going to make them do it for the right reasons. So yeah. Thank you.
We will make you. We will make sure that he will not want to reject you. I had the opportunity to speak to Jakarta.
Did you?
Yes, before.
How is she?
She was at first very angry at being captured, at being treated poorly. I spoke to Captain Modi, my master, many times, but he did not often listen to me.
No, he doesn't seem like the type. Was she hurt? Jocasta can't bring herself to say more specific words.
Tristina seems to intuit the meaning of the question. Oh, my master would never do such a thing. He was cruel, but he would not violate someone nor allow it to happen. She was physically cared for. But near the end, before she was taken away, we ate together, and her attitude changed. She was not surprised when Prince Tor came. She didn't fully trust me, nor that I blame her. But I felt that she expected it. Perhaps my master had told her, but I didn't witness that, so I was unsure of why she suddenly seemed expectant, like her time on the colony was up. She had more important things to do.
Wish I understood what was going on. Thank you.
Of course. May I attend you when you go to the planet?
It's going to be dangerous. Do you understand?
I understand.
Then yes, I'd like that.
Thank you. You, if you wish, You may claim me.
Claim you?
Yes, my
You,
master is dead, and I have no one to serve. I would be glad to serve you.
you can serve me if you want, but but as a free person. I'll pay you. And you can leave anytime you want.
If you wish.
I do. I've had quite enough of people doing things because they have to.
I understand. I had no desire to make you uncomfortable.
You're not. The world has made me uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. And
Jakarta's left. And so, yeah.
And all this conversation, of course, is like happening during hair stylings.
Sure.
I think if you want, like, as that is coming to close, you can hear a loud squawk in the hallway going like, what? I have to wear what? As like, and like Wynn is admiring Jody's new look, and Jody is like, oh yes, we have to be pretty on this planet,
Yes.
you know.
Jody's probably showing you holos of current Eularian dress.
Yeah.
You know?
You're hearing a lot of disgruntled noises.
Well, some of them are practical. You can move in them. They have culottes instead of skirts and things like that.
I wouldn't mind Talon being in there, tailoring a dress or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
No, your
definitely...
talent's definitely making a dress for Jocasta because she needs something eye popping.
Oh, well, let me tell you what I have in store for you. Something classy, but definitely attention grabbing. Okay. Contour dresses are in season, but I know that you want to move around, so we're going to give you something a little more loose. So I posted on the chat what I'm thinking. How do you feel about sequins? That's a real question, I think.
The hat will interfere with my hairstyle.
No hat. I was thinking updo.
Yes, lose the hat and drape it with a black cloak.
No.
And it's perfect.
You got it. And I think I have maybe like one or two other droids come and help me. And they're holding maybe like different types of accoutrements and scissors. And I'm like measuring. And I think I'm going to go up to Jocasta and be like, I know how uncomfortable this is. And someone just recently told me that maybe we shouldn't aim for being comfortable, but let's just aim for being comfortable with our discomfort. So I know you can do this, and he's gonna clasp like his big hands in her hands, if that's okay, and be like,
yes,
you got this. You got this. And that's something GH told him recently. Is learn to be uncomfortable in your learn to be comfortable in your discomfort.
If I show up looking like looking like I've been roughing it, they'll just immediately dismiss me.
Oh, honey, we are going to make sure you are far from that. Don't you worry.
I mean, they will feel perfectly comfortable, ignoring me or any questions or concerns I may have. I'm not going to give them that out.
No problem. I'm going to try to make Jocasta feel as luxurious as possible. And I'm going to tell her, don't worry, I have everything I need. And I'm immediately going to turn to one of the droids and be like, I do not have everything I need. I need you to go find me this and this and this. I don't care where you find it. I know we're in the ship. I get that. Go find it.
That's great. And I kind of imagine that there's a point where A8 and DJ8 are sent off to find things, and A8 is doing this like head woggle that's mocking the way Talon, and I need this and this, and A8 is just openly mocking
love
you,
it.
but not to you, behind your back.
I also vote that was that the pit droid you just quoted? No.
No,
Okay.
the pit droid. I don't know if pit droids talk, but it was A8.
It was the Astromech, yeah.
That can actually.
I think the
float.
pit
Yeah.
droid being very sassy is probably like, I'm like, that's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? Have you ever thought about being in show business? And I think the sassy pit droid is probably like helping me put everything together.
Nice. Cool. I like it. Last bit that I wanted to do on the Raptor is the Raptor comes out of hyperspace in the Ularian system, and when you see that there's a communication, someone from Black Orchard is trying to reach out to you.
Okay, yeah. She slides over on like a rolling chair of some kind and hits the button and is like, what's up? Win here.
Cool. You see that it is Solari.
Oh.
And she, like, there's the little bluish hollow, and she looks at you and she says, what is up with your hair?
It's just like, it's a long story. It's awful. It's terrible. Somebody used the phrase skincare routine at me today. It's a nightmare.
It looks amazing.
No, it's so not aerodynamic, and like every time I move,
I mean,
Talon
yes,
yells at
that
me.
would not work on the track, but right now, I'm into it.
Okay, I guess it is a little cute. She kind of like poses and then it's like, yeah, thanks. Okay, hopefully I'll be back for practice soon.
No, not practice. No, not practice. We have a match. We actually have a match.
What? Like for real? Like somebody who they bribed somebody to come actually?
There was a team traveling through. They were headed from one match to another, and they agreed to a scrimmage. And so
when?
Tomorrow, can you make it?
I assume that tomorrow is like when this is happening.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
She's like,
or like you guys have arrived at Ularia,
yeah.
So if you did it all in one day, maybe you could make it.
I think you see Wen like thinking really hard, and she's like, I will do my best.
No, your best is not good enough. We need you.
I know, but
I'll do my best is what people say when they screw up. When we need you, we'll be short. We won't even be able to play. Listen, Mina said she can maybe break something on their ship if need be, but like you've got to come.
Ooh, okay. Crime might be our only solution. Here, there's a life.
It's not crime if you fix it, though, right?
Probably, yes, absolutely. I think she's like Solari is like probably the sweetest one, and she's like, yes, that's what Mina meant. She didn't mean crime. It's a life or death thing here, and like
this is life or death. The whole team is depending on you, Win.
Okay. Yes. You know what? I will. I'll either make it back, or I will use the pay. If I don't make it back, I will somehow use the payout that I've got to get us a match with somebody, okay? Like, I promise that if I screw this up, I will go bribe Larse myself to go get us somebody.
Okay, but I'd rather just have you here for the match win. So make that happen first, okay?
Okay. We'll do that. I know we need a win. We do. So
We can't win without win.
I know. Yeah, she does like a little finger guns thing that is probably like a team gesture.
Totally. Finger guns is
got
totally a thing. All right.
Got it. And then as it turns off, she slides back and she's like, put more lipstick on me, Talon. We gotta do this fast. Whatever. Jocasta, what is the most ridiculous thing? Who do I have to marry somebody to make this go faster? Like, all right.
You have to kiss a Wookiee.
Yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourself, okay? Restraint.
Okay.
Cool. So we cut to the establishing shot of the Raptor coming down into the Illyrian capital, and it's Star Wars. So the capital city of Illyria is, guess what? It's called Illyria City, friends. If you don't believe me, look up 90% of all Wikipedia. The capital city of a planet is that planet's name plus city. So just go there. Just go with that, Illyria City. And of course, we have the like little bottom right hand, the letterbox of the arrival of the Raptor. And I'd love to do just a little quick of a paint the scene technique. I want each of you, we'll popcorn it. So that way, if somebody's like really stuck, you can listen to a couple other people. What's one thing that the camera picks up as the Raptor's coming down to a landing pad or a hangar bay or whatever, that we see that impresses upon you the beauty and the opulence of Illyria City?
The landing pad, instead of being the sort of flat expanse of metal or heaven forbid dirt that it is in 99% of everywhere, is a giant tiled mosaic.
Oh, wow, that is opulent. Nice.
That just stretches, to something the size of many football fields. I mean, thousands and thousands of man hours to create and maintain.
Cool. So mosaic on the landing pad. That is gorgeous and just it's definitely uber. Who's next?
I have one. It's a mega city, not unlike Coruscant, and the buildings are tall, and the architecture on the planet is such that the buildings themselves look like they're wearing clothes. And so instead of just being a straight, tower, maybe there's a tower and there's something that like almost looks like it's draped over it, right? As if like the building was wearing a dress. And then another building. Say that again?
To go in it, you sort of have to go through these like layers, sort of a thing.
Indeed, that's very much like the planet's architecture. And then there's another one that maybe looks more boxy, and it comes out like an upside down triangle. And then like near the top there is something that comes across, and something that crosses over that looks like the building is wearing a bow tie almost. So that's the architecture of the planet.
Okay, that is uber.
I think that unless you had something to add, Brandon, first, I think it would be cool if there's mosaic on the landing pad and maybe some of like the walkways, but I think it would be neat if there are like these kind of branching, not canals, but there's like these very still waterways that are like almost mirror like, or almost like like kind of by the Taj Mahal, there's a lot of, you know, water, or like parts of Venice. Like it makes it feel like, you know, the sky is really reflected and you're almost like floating sometimes in the, yeah.
And there are gorgeous water birds that, you know, that come and go. One of the first thing that happens to ships that dock is a little crew of scrub droids comes out and cleans them down to a fairly well, like going through a car wash.
Nice.
I mean, just, you know, the dust and muck just vanishes.
Oh, and I'm gonna say that they're based on a pit droid design.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're super shiny, like golden, like these golden pit droids, which of course DJ hates.
And I think that
Jealous.
traditionally there's like a parade that goes on. And I think that, you know, we see people who've come out. This is something that happens every day at the same time. And as we go to lay in within the city, we see this parade. And it's not a celebratory thing, it's more of an ostentatious thing. And you see the people who are lined up on the side of the street are almost bored, and, you know, it's just decadent. You know, we're watching, and oh yeah, let's throw some rose petals, and, you know, and very much this is the way that things are just done every day.
I have one more detail to add. Much like royalty would own like peacocks or other, you know, fauna for no reason, the entire like city planet has these gigantic colorful birds that fly around the city, and it takes so many credits to just feed them and upkeep them. I mean, they are gigantic, and in fact some of the buildings are just giant feeders for the whole city. So
a water feeder building. That's great.
Indeed, yeah.
Or bird. Yeah, that's nice.
Indeed. And yet the city is completely clean, right? They have entire agencies that just take care of maintaining, you know, of keeping up these birds, just so that it's that impressive when you fly in.
Oh my Lord. This is so gross.
Lastly, it's easy to tell the status of people. Because not just clothing, but physical beauty varies with class. You know, the people who are wealthy and well dressed are taller and better looking, and, you know, more noble in bearing, if you will. And, you know, even if you put everybody in the same, you know, coverall, the differences would be striking.
But you had said, Brandon, that the entire planet is beautiful, right?
The entire planet is beautiful. I mean,
Okay.
well, that is to say, they worship beauty. No, I mean, there are parts of the planet that are not beautiful.
Okay.
But they are, you know, they're slums.
So it's
Okay. But all the people are beautiful, or only a select few?
Ugly people are pushed out of the society, or at worst, hidden from sight. You don't see them.
So is it kind of like the more symmetrical your features are, the more noble you are, and like the more odd or variant they are, the lower class you are?
Generally speaking.
Even if everyone is generally good looking. So we wouldn't see ugly people just if we landed and were walking around.
No, you just don't see them. It's like they don't exist. Presumably, the genetic shake of the dice produces some of them, but as Jocasta will tell you, when an unusually beautiful person is born to a low status family, they're often adopted up.
Interesting.
Um,
Are there any
that's-
low status families that have like held on to their attractive child to try to ride that up the social ladder?
there are. It's a bitter fight. People, you know, it's you know, imagine you know, a low status person in, I don't know, Victorian England, you know, with you know, some possessions or something like that that are or clothing that are completely out of their you know, not befitting with who they are. It's
So
like,
it's
you know,
easier if they get adopted and they can just take care of their family on their own.
oh yeah, and they're richly compensated for it too. I mean, it's not, children aren't stolen from them, and so most of them are it's a normal thing. But yes, it's not coerced, except for there's a lot of peer pressure to do it.
Cool.
Because if a child is much more beautiful than their peers, they're typically miserable because they don't fit in.
Well, that is the paradise that you find yourselves in. Is
Yes.
the raptor is being meticulously cleaned by golden pit droids, and a lot of you, along with Jody's gang, start making your way out. And I think there's a parade ongoing. You can kind of lose yourselves in. And just looking at time, I think this is a good time for us to take our mid-game break. But yeah, that's the last thing that we see is you guys getting kind of swept up in the ongoing parade, which it's like, you know, there's a coach that's like made of nothing but lights, and there's a person with a rapier sword that's like 18 feet long, and it just like sticks out of the back of the coach because it shows his virility, how long his rapier is. You know how it is. That's the kind of stuff that you're dealing with, and we'll pick up with this session in just a bit. Okay, so we are back. You guys had slid into the parade. Now, Jocasta, question: where do you want to try to lead your merry band? Are you heading straight to the palatial estate of Prince Tor and
Yes.
and Luca? Okay, not even gonna check in on your whatever remnants of your family were left behind. Going straight for it, just doing the thing, right?
I'm gonna put a call into a family retainer who doesn't hate me.
Okay.
And if you don't mind,
doesn't, yeah.
Just to get a quick read on the situation and make sure that we're going to where Jakarta probably is.
If you don't mind, Jocasta, I think that the droid gang basically has you up like on a dais, and that's how we join the parade. And that's kind of their cover a little bit as well, so that it looks like you are, you're up on, a platform, and it looks normal for you to have approached in this manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Sweet. Let's say that you reach out to a Ularian woman who's like, she might be your age. Let me grab a name real quick here. Let's call her. Oh, I like that name too much. Yeah, I'm going for it. Azalin. Azalin would answer your call, and like there's that brief bit of like, wait, you're here? She would recognize things that might be going on, noises of the parade, that kind of stuff. Oh, Jakarta? She pauses, and you get the feeling that she's not entirely sure. She doesn't hate you. She's not entirely sure how to take this. Are you trying to investigate a quarry with her? I guess you are. All right, cool. Roll plus sharp.
10.
Nice. So you get 2 questions you may ask me.
Where did she go?
She says, officially, Jakarta is still missing, but I have heard that she arrived with Prince Tor just recently, and that they plan on completing the wedding ceremony in secret.
Secret?
Which, yes, in secret, which is very confusing because Prince Tor, in order to gain the status of being part of the family, of course, would need to make this a very open wedding. No one sent invitations at all.
I would ask normally the next thing, what is being concealed here? But if I sense that Azalea doesn't have an answer to that, then I would switch that to what could fix it, cure it, or slow it down. So I'll throw that to you.
You get the feeling that, yeah, fix, cure it, slow it down is probably the best way to go. She's a little bit on the confused side. She could say,
there's something wrong here.
Yes.
And I need to stop it and make sure that Jakarta is all right. I have a feeling she is being coerced, and I don't understand why.
Yes. If there is a wedding, then if there's no one to officiate it, of course, that would impede any proceedings. And your public presence anywhere would draw many, many eyes. I don't know if you wish to reveal yourself. There would, of course, be repercussions for such a choice.
I understand.
Cool. And does that answer seem fair? Does that make sense? Okay.
Please don't tell anyone I'm here for 24 hours.
As you wish. Your mother will be incredibly angry with me, but as you wish.
You're right. Do your duty.
Are you sure? I will do it for you, Jocasta.
I don't want that you should suffer because of what I have done here. My mother is likely to find out quickly enough at any rate.
True.
All right. Goodbye.
And then as soon as the call ends, there's like this weird confetti is thrown and it's all sparkly, and the parade's starting to head up this long, long hill where, you know, most of the actual nobles who are walking along will stop and they'll take little mandarin slices and take breaks because this hill's, you know, is noteworthy. People get tired, a little winded, and the like. Cool. So yeah, is there anything anyone wanted to do before we arrive at Prince Tor's palatial estate?
So are we just like following this dais, like as part of our parade? We're just kind of like the entourage, I guess, walking behind you sort of deal? Probably.
Yes, but not just this. we're the most normal thing in the world. Just, you know, you're going to a party.
Oh, right. I think yeah, Wynn is like trying to still keep up Grumble, but still slightly awed by how beautiful things are. And I think Jocasta's ability to kind of feel normal, even if she doesn't realize that, like because to her it's normal, is notable to all of us. Like even though this is something that she hates consciously, like she still is like, oh yeah, you know, when you ride a palanquin to go to a party, it's just
That's
a
right.
thing.
And Jocasta makes snarky comments to you telepathically during the entire thing about some of the people that she recognizes.
Yes. Like
He's oh yeah, no, let's see. He's been cheating on his wife for the last 6 months. And she knows it, but has been elaborately pretending that she doesn't. Things like that.
Yeah. I think Wynn just kind of keeps nodding and is just like, oh my gosh, what? Really? All of very, very, very satisfying gossip partner. She's like behind a fan and she's like, really? I never would have thought. Like but she's so pretty. Okay. Like she's catching on to the order of things.
Talon, I think as Wynn is gathering in the gossip and Jody, as we've established, doesn't always get like people stuff from time to time. I think you're the one that picks up being part of Jocasta's entourage that someone recognizes Jocasta and it just spreads like wildfire. And you see that there are people like moving up and their little bot droids, cam bots and the like coming this way. Like you see it like that's the big wave. As I sit and look out at the ocean, like that's the big wave. It's the one I'm either going to ride or is going to crash me. What do you do?
Talon is going to have a selfless moment. He doesn't want to make this about himself, even though he's dressed apart. He's gonna, I think, like put his hand on his riot gun, and he's gonna move, you know, next to Jocasta. Or if like the channel is open, he's gonna just telepathically let Jocasta know that things are getting hot, that she's getting recognized. And I'm gonna kind of go into bodyguard mode and just sort of like stand next to her, be big.
Nice.
But we can't. We cannot be. Don't let them prevent us from getting into the palace. Once we get to the palace guards, I'm confident that I can push my way in. But if we get stopped before then, we may not be able to achieve what we want.
Okay.
And Richard, and this is about time for my premonition to kick in.
Oh, it's a great time,
So,
maybe.
And that's a 7. So it's the standard disturbing one.
Clouded images is something bad that is yet to happen. Mark experience if you stop it. So yeah, Talon, I think what you're doing is acting under pressure.
Well,
so let's have you.
Let me pitch you this. You know, as I'm noticing that people are, as like the word is getting out there, right, that Jocasta is here, I'm moving, you know, next to her, and I'm getting in the mindset of bodyguard. You're giving me the evil. You're giving me the evil GM smile, Rich. I don't know what you're thinking.
Well, I think I know where you're headed, and I'm into it.
Maybe we'll see if we read each other's minds, like Jocasta and Talon. So I think I'm just gonna run different plays here in my mind and do some mental drills. Like, okay, what can we run? What is around me? you know, what's the best way in? And so Talon is going to think like, okay, is he going to pretend somebody he's not? Is he going to cause a ruckus with Jody and or Win so that they can get in, so that Jocasta has a free way to get in here? So I think I want to read a bad situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna whip out the disruptor capabilities and be all notorious and scare people, but I think reading a bad situation is a smart
And
play.
I definitely have that in my pocket, both figuratively
It's a good
and
back
literally.
pocket.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's nothing preventing you from being armed out here. No one of importance travels around unarmed or without armed bodyguards.
Sounds good. Good to know. And that might be one of the plays that I whisper to Win, like, you know, hey, you know, I think Win and I probably have a play where she's like, oh my God, it's a disintegrator. And like, yeah. So is that cool with you, Danny? That's one of our plays.
What is she yelling?
Like if we ever have to like call attention to ourselves, like
Yeah.
you act like a fan and you're like, oh my God, it's the disintegrator. He's here. Right.
Yes.
That's one of our plays. Okay,
absolutely, cool. Yeah. I think she's leaning over. She's found a big fluffy fan somewhere and has been told to mainly hide behind it. So she's like leaning over, like discussing that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. It's an 8.
An 8. Okay. It means
Indeed.
you get a question. Best way.
Question. Indeed. So we're, you know, Brandon, if I understood correctly, our raison d'etre here is to get in, right?
To get in and get to Jakarta. This is a bounty. We're not. What we're going to do with the target is undetermined. But the basic plan of attack is exactly the same. We have to get to the target.
Yeah. So
and
I think
the collateral damage has to be minimized, unfortunately.
That's one of our new questions. What's the best way to protect stuff and people? Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, since that's the reason why we're here, I think I'm going to go with what's our best way in.
Best way in is for Talon to be notorious. You got to own it. You may need Win, like calling out that it's a disintegrator. Maybe these people, not all of them have heard of you, but maybe some of them have. And so before you enact that, I want to slide into the premonition for Jocasta. Jocasta, you get, again, per the 7 to 9 results, you get cloudy. Sorry. I had it and then I've lost it. Let me find it again. You get clouded images of something bad that is yet to happen. So you get this image of Prince Tor. He's in some underground area in the catacombs underneath his estate, which of course the Prince Tor's father purchased. The Kara estate. It was just purchased from a falling noble family that had kind of aged out, and so they know nothing about the catacombs themselves. But you see the color of like the reddish tones of lava, and you see Tor, and he's over a ledge and he's suspended for just a moment in the air, and he's looking back in shock, and then it's as if an invisible hand that was holding him up just snatches it away, and he plummets down towards the lava, screaming, and dies. Super dies, like way dead. Good. So, Jody, what are you and your gang doing as Win and Talon are chatting, and Jocasta seems like she's looking off into some other place?
Yeah, so I'm basically just trying to keep keep a lot of the different droids in line, because I think they always keep wanting to run off and see different things, and I'm like, we've got a job to do here. You get paid just like everyone else, and oil baths are worth it. Let's, and just trying to keep everyone in line a little bit.
Yeah. So what do you do when DJ8 grabs one of the cam bots out of the air? He like hops up and grabs it and like slams it on the ground, and it looks like he's about to like try to punch it.
Or try and fly off with it, like, hey, maybe I can. And I'm like, no, and
no press, no press is what he's saying in Droid. He's like,
yeah. And I'm like, I'm all chromed up, and I'm like, I turn to the owner, who's like, aghast at this faux pas, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And I kind of
that was my fourth best camera bot.
I pull out the camera bot, and I kind of, toss it back up into the air, and I kind of admonish the droid a little bit for show, and then I'm like, I promise you, you will get what you want, but we just had to hold back a little bit. Just
DJ still staring at the camera bot, taps its one eye, points at it like, I'm watching you.
Yeah. I think it hides a little bit. It's like whimpers. Does the little droid whimper.
Nice. Yeah, you've got your droid hands full with it. Of course, CS is just walking along, no problem.
I think CS is one of the few that is actually visibly armed.
Yeah,
obviously.
Totally.
And I think we've dressed CS up. He has like a vest on with like the military stripes, so it looks like he's an official bodyguard walking along with the rest of the crew. Yeah.
Hot. Yeah, I'm into it. He likes that too.
There's only so much we could have done with CS. He's very functional looking.
Yeah, he would not be the one you spruce up. You just make him look functional and ignoble. Right. So Talon, how are you gonna get through this throng? What's the plan?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say Act 3, Scene 2, and Wynn knows what that means, and I'm like, your lines. And Jody, I think I want to borrow one of your droids here for this scene, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Is A8
sure
available?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that it goes something like this. Wynn screams like, "Oh my gosh, it's the disintegrator!" Some people know who that is, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Talon goes into this like scripted and yet very convincing sort of like, "Stop, citizen, you are wanted for a bounty," right? And one of the droids is the other person in the scene, and they're like, "How dare you speak to me in that tone? I will bring you in." And hopefully like people are gonna go like, "Oh," and like if it's really super, if it goes really super well, it ends with like A8 doing a hologram of like a Rancor. And like, and what I'm trying to set up here is plausible deniability, so that later I can be like, this was part of our play, officer.
There you go. Clever.
Yeah, I think one will be fanning and murmur to somebody next to her, like, it's just like in the hollows.
That's great. Yeah, and like maybe Wynn's job is to like work the crowd and be like, "It's the disintegrator. He has the death sentence in 12 systems," and
She's definitely running through the crowd and been like, "What, you don't know? Oh, honestly," and then she's just gonna like drop make believe names like, "Oh, so and so, had him at their party last, cycle, and it was a huge hit."
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Nice.
So Stephen, I think, wanted to add something to this.
Yes.
No, I was just going to say we actually narrated that. I think during one of the first sessions was basically we were going to go back and be a part of the yacht entertainment and all that.
Indeed,
kind of stuff. So,
yeah. This all goes back to what Rich's NPC said at the beginning for sure.
Oh.
So I think what's gonna like right up until the roll, it's gonna be like, stop, I will bring you in. And like, he like in slow-mo like moves his jacket, right, and reaches in for his gun, which is now called, you guys, the bad motivator. And A8 is like, or no, this is Wynn's line, and she's like, he's a bad motivator, and like A8 plays this track that's like
Oh my lord.
yeah, and I think that's what I'm gonna roll.
Sweet. You're going to be manipulating the crowd. You've used Notorious. You get a +1 because you're acting on the read a bad sitch. And you get to roll plus charm. So you're basically rolling +3.
Huzzah.
Good luck.
This couldn't possibly go wrong.
Can't mathematically go wrong or something.
Yes.
Wow. You only added +2 and it should have been +3. So it's actually
Oh, there you go.
11.
It's an 11.
It's an
11.
11 on manipulate. So people are like, there's some people who get the vapors. They're just so blown away by all of this, and they part like the Red Sea for you guys, so you can make your way to the Kara Estates. And it feels great, Talon. Like, these people are really into theatrics, and there's just so agog with your splendid presence that you
Right.
don't notice as you guys pass on to Kara Estates completely successfully.
That's
That
great.
you, Talon, don't notice, but we, the audience, see that among the crowd, like moving through, surprised. He was just here for some completely unrelated reason, is none other than the human known as Grona Tane, a rival of yours who in the past has never missed a chance to screw you over and has been hunting for you, and he heard your name being called out. And he watches as you go into Kara Estates.
Oh no. It's the Javert to my Jean Valjean.
It is true. So true. Jocasta, you make your way up, and the Kara Estate guards, they're armed. They're always on stun because you're too beautiful to be shot with a blaster. But they say, what is Jocasta's? Does Jocasta have a surname?
It does. She has never used it.
They will address you by that surname.
Villafari is her surname.
Say again. Can you type that in chat? I just want to make sure.
I put it in the character keeper. But
Oh, the character keeper. Oh, that's all I
since
need.
now that's public knowledge.
Lady Venlafari, are you here for the wedding?
Yes. I am here to greet my sister and to convey to her my best wishes.
Very well. And the eyes kind of scan the motley crew of droids. Will your servant droids await outside?
Yep.
No, they will accompany me.
Oh, now you got to manipulate them. They may fight you on that.
Yeah, I'm not going to succeed in this one.
Especially the CS droid with its big gun.
Oh, the CS, right. No, that's right. I'm going to, I forgot about CS. Jody. I say, and I look at you significantly.
Jody, do something?
Is Steven frozen? No.
Down here.
Okay.
You said Jody.
I said, Jody, and I look at you significantly, as if
Okay.
you should, as if you should know what to do.
Oh, I said.
I've never been
Yes,
able to telepathy with
Yeah.
Jody.
I can't tell.
Yes,
tried.
Mistress. Yeah, yes, mistress, and kind of steps up and kind of turns around and tells the other droids, set your, you know, Jody actually helps you down from the dais. So you're on ground level now, and then tells the rest of the droids, you can set your burden off to the side, protect it as if it were your mistress. And then I'll turn to accompany you and kind of take your arm as we go in.
Nice.
And then we just stroll right in.
And of course, CS is the one that would answer.
Understood.
And I think CS is in charge of keeping everyone else straight, right? Don't let them
Yeah.
wander around and all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. CS gets it. The pit droid is like totally not into this at all. This is boring. There's like these beautifully manicured lawns at the estate, right? And you guys are standing at doors. And I think the pit droid like walks over behind the palanquin and like pees some oil on the grass.
Can he like kick a little statue over?
I was
or,
thinking
like,
he was kicking.
kick a
I think
shrub?
he kicks a little
Oh,
statue.
yeah. I love it. He like
So passive aggressive.
walks
little
over
droid.
and just punches a little like stone gnome type thing. It falls over.
Yeah, and I think so. Jody actually hits a couple of buttons on her arm, and I think that's whenever A8 starts kind of pulls out like a little ball or one of those training droids, and starts tossing it back and forth to keep DJ entertained.
Nice.
Right.
And she accidentally throws it and it like pops him on his little button and he does the pit droid thing of like collapsing in. And that'll keep him in. So we cut to the four of you with a few of the guards, and it's like an honor guard thing, like they're just leading you through rather than, of course, they're gonna, like, if you meander off, they will urge you to follow them as they are taking you to the catacombs.
Yeah, I think while we're going, I think Lynn is still behind her fan and she's just like talking to the guards like, wow, well, I've never been in such like a wonderful place. I could just so easily get lost. I'm so grateful that you're taking us here. And I think she's trying to figure out if there's any like secret ways out or like other hallways or something like that.
Sweet. Go ahead. And you're reading a situation, right? You're looking for your best way out. You're looking for a way to get out of here when you guys are successful.
Yeah, because she's looking for, just in case things have to be cut short, she's like trying to like get the fastest in and out. So yeah, I think she's probably like, where is the ceremony? I mean, I would hate to disturb things if we have to find a powder room or something, whatever the Star Wars version of that is.
Cool.
Okay, that's a
oh, you roll the physical dice? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's right. I should use the
you don't have to.
Well, I rolled it this, but then I'll use the dice roller. That's a 9 plus a 1. Yay, 6 plus 3, and then a 1. I think because I have 1 sharp. Yes.
Yes, you do. Okay. Sounds like you get 2 questions then.
Oh yeah.
3 on Read a Bad. Sorry, it's Read a Bad Sitch. It's Investigate a Core. This 2. Read a Bad Sitch is 3. So 3 questions. One of which is your best way out. You do spot the telltale signs of, like, there are obviously pictures on the wall that, like, the fake eyes, and there's probably a back passage of some kind that was installed many generations ago for people to circumvent and move throughout this estate without being seen. That'd probably be the best way for you guys to find egress from this place once you have secured Jakarta.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? Not that we've gotten to the main danger to notice things, but like, do they actually tell us something or
dangers you haven't noticed? So as you guys are walking like past this huge portrait room, and there's like a music area and this gigantic ballroom, there are cameras all over this place. There's obviously some 1 or 2 people who are probably sitting in a control room, keeping eyes on everything, playing Overwatch. So that would be a danger that that you don't easily notice.
And
Yeah. Maybe
yeah.
you catch the hint of animal, like the scent of animal being this far away from the push of the parade.
Huh.
It's an odd, like musky animal smell that you pick up as well.
Interesting. I guess then what's the I'm torn between what's most vulnerable to me, but what's the best way to protect my stuff / people, I guess.
They're both so good.
Ah,
Tough choices.
we're about to go into a thing where I think a strat would probably be most helpful. So I guess what's the best way to protect my stuff / people?
Cool.
Either win specific or if it's like group wise. Because like Jocasta knows what she's doing and the rest of us like do. I mean, everyone knows what they're doing in a macro sense, but everybody else is much more fish out of water here. So like if there's like a way of like, oh yeah, present yourself this way, or if somebody says this, just start shooting. Like I think
you realize that the guard that you're speaking with, it seems, well, pardon the phrase, but disarmed by your innocence, and you realize that these people are used to either completely subservient people or super snooty people, and just genuinely being the trainee seems to give you a little bit of an advantage here. Like they seem a little more open to you, and like you're definitely not a threat. Look at her, she's so young, like
Shoot.
wow, it's adorable, this off-worlder here. And you realize that these security guards, they're definitely going to deal with Talon, who's super dangerous. They've seen the hollows, and Jocasta, who's just angry all the time. But yeah, that's probably the best way to protect people, is to stay out of the line of fire so that you are freer to act.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. That I like that point about snooty people versus, because she's like, what's your name? Oh my word, nobody's
Yeah, these guys have like they stammer, is like Panazapal. Like he doesn't even what is this? She's like talking to me. What is she going to kill me or something? Then we cut to the 4 of you and a couple of guards as one of the guards opens this door, and you see this long set of stairs that are heading down into this darkened catacombs. And he like reaches, and there's a torch light, that not like actual flame light, but it's stylized, so it's actual like stone of some kind that gives off light. And you guys start heading down these stairs, and you can hear your footfalls echoing. And down as you head down into the catacombs, there's that like you can see the like cave walls. There's stuff that's hewn here, but a bit more rough hewn. It's less beautiful, more naturalistic. And then everything's starting to feel really, really warm. The heat level is just snapped up. And Jody, I think you have the kind of data set to realize that this area is obviously right over a lava pool of some kind. And it's dangerous to like hang out in this kind of area, except for not for you, Jody, because droid. But yeah, as you guys come kind of round around in this circular set of stairways, you come out and you see that there is this open, red tinged large cavern, and there are a number of like it's catacombs. There are a bunch of passages that are leading out of here, but there's a central area, and in that central area, there are a number of guards, and Jocasta, you see her. You see your sister, Jakarta. She's dressed to the nines in this beautiful, opulent dress. And there's Prince Tor as well. Now, I'm going to take a break for a minute. This is the question that I meant to ask before, but before we get any deeper into the scene, I need to ask it now. We haven't narrated Luca being with you guys at all, not once.
Meant to ask
Was
on
that
a-
an
on the landing
oversight
pad.
on my part, or is Luca not here?
I meant to ask on the landing pad or somewhere, and then I forgot to be like,
Yep.
what does he think?
So
I think he would be as recognized as Jocasta, so it makes sense if like we did something
More.
like put him in the trunk and that, or we had to somehow.
I think bringing Prince Luca into the situation would be a mistake.
So did you?
Is what Jocasta would have opined.
So did you like stun him and
I
stick
think
him
we
in a
probably
trunk
left
somewhere
him
on the
back on the
ship?
ship.
But
Somebody
Yeah.
somebody stunned him and left him on the ship. Awesome.
no, but like he's our like leverage with Tor too. Anyway, yes, Talon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. So that's why Luca hasn't been with us. Good. All right. Just need to answer
Yes.
that question. Sorry we didn't establish it in real time. I apologize for that little mix up on my part. Cool.
You know, he's you don't take the client along on a bounty. It just complicates matters.
True.
So when you first see Jocasta dressed as she is with her hand in Prince Tor's with an official standing between the two of them, what do you do?
I may as well start with a shocker. So I'm going to telepathically say to her, stop. And then just directly approach.
Cool.
It's all I can do not to run. But
Sweet.
I am forcing myself to walk at a measured pace.
Okay. So you reach out to your sister and say, stop? Is that what you say?
I say, Jakarta, wait, this isn't right.
Sweet. And you guys are hearing the sounds of the official as he's going through this very legalistically, not at all emotionally worded contract. And Jocasta, you say that to Jakarta, and she glances up, and you realize, even though you're maybe 200 feet away, still coming down the last bits of the stairs, she's not surprised. And she says back in your mind, just a moment longer. Let me finish this, sister.
What are you
We'll
doing?
leave.
What are you doing?
I'm taking care of it. I'm taking care of this, Jocasta.
Heart of my heart. This isn't the right way.
I respectfully disagree, sister. This is the only way. So this telepathy conversation is going on between the two of them. You guys have kind of come down. A few of the Kara estate guards are there, and they'll like escort you up to participate. There's no audience. It's just maybe a dozen guards and this official and Prince Tor and Jakarta, who you recognize from the pictures that Jacosta's shown. And Jakarta is more paying attention to her sister and kind of ignoring everything that's going on. Jody, you know, this ceremony is nearly to its completion. Like the official says, do you take this woman? And says this to Prince Tor, and Prince Tor very, I think he smiles. This is well in hand. He's got it all under control, and he smiles and says, yes. And then the officials turning and doing binding the contract together, the houses, as he's now about to address Jakarta.
So Jody's basically checking everyone out and making sure. You said that there weren't very many witnesses or anything like that. There's a couple of attendants, and looking for threat. And I think, of course, the biggest threat is Jacosta and Jakarta right there, right next to Jody as they're kind of walking up. But Jody's completely oblivious of this and was like looking at the other targets, trying to figure out, are there any problems with them? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, read a bad sitch, I think, is what you're doing.
I can do that. What's that with?
That is with Sharp.
I rolled a 4, so I don't think I can do that. So
you want to call for aid?
Oh, yeah. How could that? Oh, I think, yeah. So I think I call for aid. Do I pick someone, or
you pick for someone? You get to pick who you think could help you.
I'd like to pick Talon. I'm looking around and I'm like, hey, you can tell. I think we see this vision of like the droid vision, and there's this like little target thing that's up and inconclusive. And I'm like, ugh. And I think I turn to Talon to see what guidance he might be able to give.
Okay. Cool. So Talon, for our situational move, I think it is call for aid. Dang it. No, it's not. It's actually in basic moves. Ding, ding, ding. Call for aid on row 28. After failing to roll as well as you like, say what another nearby character can do to boost your efforts. The helper says how they do it and rolls an appropriate stat. So how is Talon helping Jody figure out what's going on here?
Okay. And so this is an analog to a perception move, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And are there?
I mean, it can be like that's what Jody is doing is perception.
Yeah. Okay. And we're trying to get a lay of the land here. Are there intelligent beings that we can converse with?
Yeah. There's like a dozen guards, and there were a couple that escorted you guys down here.
Okay. Is there anyone that saw, like the mini show that we put on outside?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
There may have been a couple who were keeping track of things going on.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Those
Maybe
guys definitely
guards
for sure.
brought us down. Okay, great. I think that I'm going to try to talk to them and get some information from them to sort of to add to our investigating here.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me a charm roll then. I think that's how you're helping.
I think so too. 7.
Okay. So on a call for aid on a hit, you increase your result by 1 category, and you are sharing in any of the consequences of the move, Talon. But that does push you up to a barely success. So with read a bad sitch, you get 1 question on a 7 to 9 result.
Yeah. So I think it's Jody doesn't have any idea what's going on here, but is looking for the biggest threat here.
Awesome. So you realize that for your perception, Prince Tor thinks he's got this 100% completely in hand. He's got 12 to 14 of his most loyal, well-paid guards taking care of business. The biggest threat here is Jacosta, right? And he sees her arrival and knows the history, and he's going to like subtly just gesture for a couple of guards to go over and not attack, but like guide Jocasta away from this so that this ceremony can be completed. That's the biggest threat right now that you think.
And I
Like
think
the-
that
Yeah.
I think the way that we get that is, Jody's like at a loss and turns to Talon, and Talon, is chatting up the guards and like gives a head nod towards the guards that are approaching Jocasta. And I think Jody's going to go run interference and just go and kind of walk up and bumble into them a little bit. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry, sir. May I help? Here, let me help pick that up. And yeah.
Nice. I love it. So Jocasta, you've made it to this kind of platform, and in front of the platform is the lava pools, is this beautiful viewing area. And Jakarta has told you, hey, let me finish this ceremony. Let me
Tune in.
Tune in. Okay, cool.
I'm going to try to probe Jakarta.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting that you're tuning into. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and see how that goes. Roll plus tech.
15. Oh, 14, excuse me.
How dare you tell me it's a 15 minutes? Okay, that sounds pretty good. A whole 3. No, I'm joking. So that is 3.
What is she planning to do right now? And I don't mean complete the ceremony.
Oh, yeah. So her plan is that once this binding ceremony happens, she's going to kill him and all the guards and take over the Kara estates. Then nobody will come after you anymore. Eventually, she might marry Luca if she feels like it, but at this point, that's not really in the immediate plans.
I guess, how can I get her attention? How can I break what she's doing?
How can you get her attention? She's still like probably talking to you if you engage her, but she's trying to make sure this official says all the right words, that it's documented, that it's recorded. So if anything interrupts that, it stops these last few bits of the ceremony, that's gonna...
Fine, I attack the official.
Sweet. That is a thing that Prince Tor is also not gonna like, but he's already asked a couple of the officials, so I think you've got to go kick some shells here.
Yep. And I'm going to, and I'm leaking the picture of what I fear is going to happen to Talon and to Win.
Awesome. Talon Win. You just get a little telepathic note from Jocasta as she moves forward.
I think she just gasps because all she knows of Jakarta is like what Jocasta has said, and like had never thought that like Jakarta was also, a person on this planet who grew up this way too, and might have a totally different way of thinking.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. You tackle this official.
And no, I mind blast him.
You're gonna shoot. You're just gonna like out and out kill the official. Like bring this for sure. Done. Okay.
No, well, I mean, I'm not close enough to him to stop him.
Oh,
so
I get you.
I don't have a weapon. This is I grab him and I slam him against the wall.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So you slam him against the wall and you're going to get shot, Jocasta. The good news is that these are basically like, I don't want to stun you because that's not fun. Like you get just stuns taken out of a fight. So let's say that they've got these like needlers that they fire at you, which are filled with pain creating agents. And so you will take a total of 3 harm.
Having known the plan, can I jump in and defend, or am I too far?
I think that happened. So if you wanted to like now react and jump in, that works for me. Absolutely. As Prince Tor is like, stop her. And yeah, that's a thing. So I'm gonna ask Win real quick. What are you doing? You just saw Jocasta grab the official, slam him against, like, I imagine there's like this statue that used to be of the last, but they've like rebuffed it a little bit. It looks like Tor's dad. But that's who Jocasta, the statues who has been hit when Jocasta slammed the official against it. And it's right on the edge of the lava pool there.
Okay, so all right, so the official has been slammed into the statue.
Yeah.
And then okay, feel free to edit this as necessary. I think when having got that little flash ahead of time is going to like gasp and like run up and grab Tor off to one side and be like, listen, Jakarta is gonna kill you if you don't stop being such an asshole to everybody. Like, and this is like gonna try and like isolate him from this and get him to stop like calling the guards and
delightful.
this.
I love it. Sounds like you want to manipulate him, right? So you go over, you grab Prince Tor.
I kind of want to use trust me for this when you tell
oh
him.
Yeah, your new move. Awesome.
In order to protect him from danger, yeah.
Because I'm telling him the truth of what's happening. I'm like, listen, it's not just one sister, it's both of them. Congratulations, dude. You've managed to piss off 2 of the most powerful women I've ever met in my life. How on earth did you do this?
Roll plus charm and see how your trust me works.
Oh man, there are some cool options for if this goes sideways. Everybody's been rolling so well. An 8.
Ooh, an 8. 7 of the 9. They do it, but the keeper chooses one from. They ask you a hard question first. They stall and dither for a while. They have a better idea. And you tell him to stop being a dick. He has a better idea, which is
how about I never stop getting my own way? Yes, he has a better idea. Of course.
Yeah, it's better. Well, I don't want the better idea to be you fail. So I think the better idea is he says Jocasta cares for you. I'll have her stop all of this. I'll pretend to kill you. And then he reaches for a knife. Little vibro knife. Don't worry, it won't hurt much. What do you do? He's gonna like try to hold you up as a hostage at this point. Is what he thinks is gonna be a great choice. This is a better idea.
Like I think Win is kind of like like as long as it gets you away from the lava pool, you like beautiful idiot. But she's gonna like see if she can like honestly, I think like instead of him like stabbing her, I think she'll probably turn around and see if she can like haul him over her back and like ever after style walk out carrying this dude. Like see if she's like, all right, I hear you, but and when he goes to do that, see if she could like use like a leg slide or something like that from
act under pressure to see if you can disarm him. And
awesome.
He's
I was wondering if this would be a what could go wrong, because like I would be charging.
That is pretty terrible idea. I love it. You're not hedging your bets at all. Hold 2. You can spend your hold. All right, so here we go.
I want to add a +2 to an act under pressure.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, but And then
So you're rolling plus cool, which is 0
Oh.
for you, but +2 from the thing.
my +2,
It's
which
a
got me
miss.
to a 6.
Awesome.
Awesome. Oh God, this is going to go so well from a dramatic point of view.
Okay, so I'm going to get to Talon in a second, but I get a reaction here. Here's what happens. Jocasta, you slam this official. He like snaps his head against the statue. He is KO'd. When you have a brief conversation with Prince Tor, who is not that smart and thinks, I'll do a hostage situation thing, you like sweep his leg. He drops the vibro blade, which is like got this cool little like inlaid thing and like an embossed bit. It's really cute. And you pick him up over your shoulders like you totally planned to, but then Jakarta just reaches out with a hand and picks up the two of you and starts like moving you. She's with the force of her will. She's like, well, just, they're combined. I'm out for this one guy. And she starts moving you towards the lava pit. Like she's just going to drop you in. Talon, Jody, good thing is pretty obvious physical thing she's doing. She seems to be affecting this and hovering Win and a very surprised and kind of screaming Prince Tor over the lava pools. Talon, what do you do?
I'm going to pitch you that the bride and the groom, that's some baloney that I'm about to pitch you, but the bride and the groom, we're going to leave in this very opulent limo speeder.
Yeah, like a skiff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lava
Yeah.
skiff.
That just maybe happens to go over lava. I don't know. We'll find out.
Sure. I mean,
yeah.
it's a speeder of some kind, so it would have propulsor tech. It would have.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, and Talon is gonna do what Talon does: get into the vehicle.
Try to fly underneath to be there to catch.
Exactly, and slightly egress the droid that is driving it if necessary, and then he's gonna try to save Win, and he doesn't. He doesn't really care much about Tor. He's just has no love for royalty. So I mean, Win is the priority, and if he manages to catch on, he'll catch on.
I am very sorry, Mr. Twillick, but this is my ride.
You say to the droid as you pick him up and throw him off to the side and hop into the skiff. So Jody, what are you doing as Talon's going to try to fly safe to the day here? But what's Jody doing?
I think I'm trying to get past the guards that are here. I think my focus is really on Win and Tor to try and keep them from going over the edge. So it's working it this way, trying to prevent things. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's have you act under pressure. Oh no, you're trying to protect someone.
Oh yeah.
We hardly ever do that move, but it's a great move.
Okay, that's tough. Oh, my tough is a 2. And I rolled a 9, so that makes it an 11.
Oh my goodness! On a 10 plus, you protect them. You get to choose an extra. Yeah. So what do you want to do?
Well, I like the impending danger is now focused on me. Did I look at that right?
Yes. So how do we want to do that? Is this a thing where you like shove Win away and she's out of the grasp, but now you're the one that's being floated? Is that what you think is? Or
that's fine. I was actually thinking, I try to pull the two of them away and, get them. I block line of sight, I think, inadvertently. And Jakarta struggles a little bit with that. And then I start being pulled out of the way towards the lava pit so that Jakarta can get back to her main target.
Cool. I'm sorry. I'm going to need to step away for like 1 minute or he is going to bark for the rest of this time. So I'll be right back.
No problem.
Rich would have a dog named Beaker.
Yeah.
He seems like he would be a Muppets fan. I can't blame him.
As
He's my
as
favorite.
all sane people.
Indeed. Yeah, especially Beaker. He's my favorite.
So did Jody just pull Win away? Like, is Tor still being like?
I thought Jody was going to tackle Jakarta.
Oh, I have no idea. To be honest, I kind of think maybe Jacosta's doing this. I have no idea what's going on. I think that what happened is I blocked the site so Jakarta can't really get to Tor or to Win, right? And
Well,
the two of you are,
she's got them floating already, and the question is whether they're already over the lava pit. So
yeah, I don't think they've
So
narratively
is-
made it to the lava pit yet. So I think I've gotten in the way, and Jakarta's trying to push me out of the way so that she can
Yeah.
get back to the two of you.
so in
So it
that
is
case,
with
I
the
don't think you can tell she's doing it because she's got her hand out.
Yeah.
She's got her hand out in the classic,
Yeah.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Problem.
It was hilarious. He was very, very, very upset. All right. So yeah, I think you foiled the efforts. You got in her way. This isn't like a thing that Jakarta's done a whole lot. So Win and Prince Tor, you are dropped to the like mosaic tiled area, and she's going to be pissed at you. That's what she's going to do because you foiled her plan.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Rather than her just pulling me along towards the lava, what if we see Force Lightning come out?
Oh,
Too
that is so
much?
good. I love it. No. That's a thing. And her eyes turn kind of yellow and she lets out with this Force Lightning. And there's a moment where she's a little surprised, but you still get that anyway.
Yeah.
Force Lightning, I think that's
No.
not good.
especially not for a droid.
Yeah. I think 3 harm.
Awesome. I'll take that.
And it makes you for a little bit.
All glitchy.
Nice. Jocasta, you have taken out this official. This ceremony has not been completed. Jakarta just lashed out with some crazy lightning of some kind. And then she says, "What are you doing? You're ruining everything. I was going to make them pay and take everything from
And
them."
destroy yourself in the process. I'm halfway there. Please don't ruin your life just because I ruined mine.
I don't know what the outside has done to you, Jocasta, but I know what it's done to me.
If I could have prevented any of it, I would have. I wanted to. I've been looking for you ever since they took you.
And that's when Prince Tor says, "Shoot them! Shoot them both!"
I just like roll and I just slug him. I just need it.
You totally slug him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You punch him. He's got a glass jaw. He's gonna bruise up. Might lose a tooth. I
You
don't
still
know.
have a hold to inflict +1 harm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Right. I would love to use.
Do you knock him out then? If you spin that hold, I'll let you KO him right here and now.
Yes.
Bam.
Absolutely.
So Jody, Talon, you see that there's like a dozen guards that have been told to shoot Jocasta and Jakarta
I'm gonna
by Prince
I'm
Tor.
gonna I'm the getaway man, so I'm gonna try to like roll around our Fast and Furious, car over here and try to like get him in and GTFO.
Okay, well, I think then you're going to be acting under pressure with your driver thing. Let's see you do it.
Oof.
I rolled snake eyes.
That's great.
That is great.
Are you calling for aid? Or are you just gonna let it go?
I
Get an XP if you let it go.
oh
Just
no, baby. No.
you may not live to spend it, but you get an XP.
I have so much
Um,
luck. You guys, should I spend luck or should I call for aid?
You should spend luck.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen if you spend luck.
Indeed.
Oh
Do it.
God, yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, spend luck. Javert.
Nice. Sweet. All right, so you spend luck. And what does it look like when you sweep in
I'm
with
so glad you
this
asked.
gorgeous lava skiff? I knew you were going to pitch me on a thing. I thought I'd just, head that off the pass.
Well, I'm heading toward the lava, yeah? And the lava has like a ramp as it it's going like right before it goes into the
That
lava,
totally
right?
makes sense. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So I see that my two friends who were airborne are no longer airborne, and like a bunch of stuff has happened. So Talon is gonna like go up into the ramp and like come back down, and then he's gonna like make a hard right, and he's going to Tokyo drift into position and hopefully knock a bunch of, I mean, with a point of luck, hopefully like knock a bunch of people out of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And be like,
So he's like, we just kind of sideswipe a bunch of the guards, send them sprawling and flying.
mhm.
Oh man, that is rough stuff.
And strike a pose, because this was being, broadcasted. So then I will also strike a pose for the camera droids.
Yeah, totally.
Naturally.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, so you act under pressure there, and Jocasta and Jakarta are not being fired upon. When you've knocked out Prince Tor, it was a little easier than you anticipated, but hey, you did it and you're awesome. So yeah, what's the plan with Jody after you've been
So I think
horse
I think the point is we're all going to try and get in the skiff that Talon's kind of put in place for us, and anyone who is struggling to get in the skiff or doesn't want to get in the skiff, and this would be Tor, Jocasta,
No,
Jakarta,
not Tor. Not Tor.
not Tor, sure,
Leave him behind. This is his bounce.
and toss them all into the skiff and see if we can't get away.
Yeah, but maybe he can, I don't know, pay us off to be quiet on how much we beat him up.
He is the brother of our,
Our
employer.
client, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're antagonists. I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
No,
great! I love
no,
this.
because Jakarta may try to murder him again.
Yeah, I love this. Jody tosses Tor in, and Jocasta pushes him out the other side of the skiff.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes. As long as Jakarta gets in. And that's the question.
Yeah,
Please.
I think
Please. Luca's waiting for you if you care about that. And if you don't care about that, look, it breaks my heart that I wasn't there when you had your breakthrough. But I know where you can get training that I wish I had been able to get. Learn how to control what our gift and avoid it corrupting you, which I have not succeeded doing.
sounds like you want to manipulate her to get on the skiff with you.
I do, but I'm not good at manipulating.
I know.
I'm just pouring my heart out.
Yeah,
But I guess that's what I've got.
that's what you got.
Okay. That's a 5.
I have a question on Win has the power of heart when fighting an enemy. You help someone as if you'd rolled a 10, and I wonder if she can help, assist.
If Jocasta calls for aid,
Right?
I do.
then okay.
Augusta looks at Win and goes, when she sees that Jakarta's not buying it.
Yeah.
And she goes, Win, say what I mean. for God's sake.
And I think
Because with Jocasta, it just doesn't, it comes out wrong. It's like, she's like,
Yeah. So what does Wynn say to convince Jakarta to leave this place with you?
I think she dusts herself off from there and marches over and kind of like puts a hand on Jocasta's shoulder and is like, look, I don't know how you do things on this planet. And I know that Jocasta left because she has the powers, and she says all the time that she's such a bad person and so bad for having them. But no matter how pretty things are on the outside, your sister has one of the most beautiful hearts that like I've seen, and you know who helped power that? That was you. And from her descriptions of you, I didn't think of somebody who was gonna go throw somebody in a lava pool, though I'm not saying you didn't deserve it. But I think that your sister is super admirable for doing that, and she wouldn't be able to do any of that without having without having the ability to pursue the thought of seeing you again. And I know that if you're related to Jocasta, you've got some of that goodness in there somewhere, and we can kick a bunch of tail on our way out, and we'll find a place that is better, so we don't have to like sabotage it. Sound good?
She scowls a bit. You've said some words that touch her heart, but she's still harboring a lot of anger, and she steps onto the skiff and she'll go with you. And I think, just looking at time, we have to call it there so that we can move to epilogues. And yeah, so let's engage the mechanic that we've all been driving up towards, as you each will look at your drives.
Have any more payout? Or I guess we don't have any other bounties.
Oh, you want some payout so you can buy up drive? Is that what you want?
Yeah, if we have, I was just saying before.
Yeah, I think Luca's gonna give you each 2 payout or 2 bounty, which is what I'm probably gonna rename it eventually, but not for this iteration because I've changed too much already. Cool. So you each get 2. You may spend it how you wish if you're
Oh my gosh.
on your drive.
Cisco, did you fill your entire drive track?
Man. Still no guarantee. All right, retirement. When a character is ready to escape the life of a bounty hunter, make your retirement move. If you have checked, so we'll start with Talon, because he's likely going to be the best story. You get to roll +3 because you've checked 8 boxes on your drive track to buy out your Black Sun contract and get out of the life. So let's see how that goes.
All right, let's do it. There's no guarantees, you guys.
No, it's no. You can still roll snake eyes.
Indeed. It's a 9.
Oh man, a 9 is good. Okay, on a 7 to 9, you achieve your drive, but it costs you something. Describe the compromise you make or the cost you pay to finally achieve your goal, and describe what becomes of your bounty hunter. And I'll give you a moment to think about that as we move on to mechanically resolve. Jody, you have checked 6 boxes, so you get to roll +1.
+0.
+0?
Yeah, +0. 6 is +0.
Are you
sure?
I
thought 4 to 5 was.
Oh, did I not? Wait.
Oh, you said 5 to 6 roll +0 and roll 7
That's
to 8.
so weird. Okay.
You have if you have checked more than 8, and there isn't a more than 8.
Hold on. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. I think I updated the Word doc, but I may not have appropriately updated the retirement moves. Yeah, so the math actually should be hold on, let me add a few rows here and I'll just copy paste it in. Sorry guys. Sorry. So what
No
happens
problem.
when I actively develop on the fly like a doo-doo head? All right.
Very good.
All right. No one can help you retire. Don't forget that piece.
Yes, no one can help you retire.
All right.
And luck isn't something you can use in retirement either.
Correct. That's a good question, and I should probably add that too. No one can help you retire. You can't luck your.
If that's the case, I actually got over a 10.
Oh,
You got a
because of
10, right?
the modifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Cool. Okay. Good. Well, congratulations.
So-
then that
Thank
changes
you.
your.
Yeah, I get a +1. I rolled an 8. That gives me a 9. So,
Okay.
that's good.
Yeah, on a 7 to 9, saying you get the achieving your drive, but it cost you something. And just as a reminder, your drive was recover the memories that were taken from me. Ooh, exciting. Oh, I can't wait to see how that goes. Next is Jocasta, Vin
And I've got
Lafari. Payback for Jakarta. Ooh, 6. So I'm sorry, did you already roll?
I rolled a 8.
Ooh, 7 to 9. You get what you want, but it costs you something. Oh, all these cost you something. This is good. I'm into
Everybody's
this.
rolling really well. Watch Wing get a snake. Hopefully
Yeah.
not. But like,
Here we go. And then last but certainly not least, we have our trainee. And let me check
Okay.
in. Like Danny, knowing that you're going to be playing in June, I think this
Hopefully.
drive works. Like the rocket skate crew stadium. I think that's cool. It doesn't necessarily mean you're not bounty hunting anymore, but it's a retirement is in getting your drive. So let's go ahead and roll. You've got 6 boxes, so roll +1.
an 8.
Ooh, I love it. This is exactly what I want. Mixed successes. So it's all complicated stuff, so everybody but one person gets exactly what they want. Let's circle back around. Talon, you were the only full success that we had. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You complete your drive and retire to safety. Describe how and what becomes of your bounty hunter.
Indeed. We're going to end with a montage. And because my last luck summoned the Javert to my Jean Valjean,
Mhm.
he will chase us out of the ceremony, and we will have an amazing, very expensive, very well rehearsed chase back to the Raptor. Then we get a short scene where he goes back to pay off the Vigo, and his major domo is like looking from the shadows, and he's like, Talon, right? He's very like upset that he bought himself out. The Vigo doesn't care, right? Money is money. So, but it's the major domo who's really ticked. Then we get another shot, and you all may be part of the epilogue if you want, but Talon has brought the hunters hunted back to the captain, and he is on the wings of the stage, and we essentially see a recap of our first adventure, and the cast is singing a song called a rancor called Freedom, right? And it's like freedom, and like right into that like crescendo, the actor who's playing Talon like jumps off a space van off a ramp and lands on the mechanical rancor, and he turns to the audience and delivers the lines, and he's like, welcome to Dathomir, witches. And Talon is on the Talon is on the wing, and he's got the script, and he's like mouthing it, and he's like, and he's like, yeah, nailed it, right? And then the crowd goes wild, and then we see the Rhodian, whom he still owes a job to, right? He comes, from behind very threateningly, and Talon is like, I was wondering when you'd show up. It's like Uchamanta Chuta Buddha, and we see the subtitles like you know you owe me one, and he's like, well, it's gonna have to wait. I'm getting married, and he's like, oh Chuta Buddha Hada Nada, and he's like, what are you talking about? She was sent here to kill me. You're kidding. The Zabrak contortionist? Not the Zabrak contortionist. Are you serious? Not again. And he's like beating the clipboard. And he's like, Chutabunta. One last job. And then we see him leaving, we see him like leaving on a jet ski from the big yacht, and he's driving it, and he's got the Rodian on his back, and we hear like dun dun dun, and they're like just jet skiing into the sunset for their one last job.
It's so great. That should have made you go last. Don't, everybody's gonna want to top you now. That's crazy. Okay. We're moving the left to the right. So now, Jody, you achieved your drive, but it cost you something, which is recovering your memories. Describe how the compromise you make or the cost you pay to finally achieve your goal.
So I
What
think
does it look like?
Yeah, I think what we see is that Jody is back on Black Orchard, and this is sometime in the future. And we have established, I think, 5 different locations on Black Orchard, and they're kind of big columns and everything. And I think there's now a 6th, and this is where the droids reside. And there's been a big contingent of droids that have kind of built up here and everything like that. And Jody is sort of like teaching the droids, and we see some of the droids that are familiar, like CS and DJ and that kind of stuff that are running around. And we see, some of the droids go out to the spaceport to start working on some of the ships. And Jody's kind of teaching class, and we see Jody say, it's really not about what you used to be, and your existence isn't about what you knew before or your old memories. It's really about what you do going forward. And I think that's Jody's retirement. Is she doesn't recover her memories. It cost her that, but she learns, this is it's what you do going forward. It's what you make of yourself.
It's so sad. Okay. Dang, I feel weird.
Great.
Okay. I mean, I like it. It's dramatic, but dang, I wanted Jody to have. I want to know what Jody's memories are. Okay, cool, awesome. Now, Brandon, if you could, you got mixed successes as well on the payback for Jakarta. So,
let's see
here. So, this is on some planet that has, that has a force trainer or something where Jakarta is learning how to control her things, and she and Jocasta, are getting along fairly well, and Jocasta gets a message that she's been expecting, because what it means is that Tor has finally found out where Jakarta has gone. You see, guard reporting, it's like, she's definitely here on this planet, and it's like, I'm not going to leave without her. She's mine, and we'll do whatever's necessary to to make her pay for what happens. And Jocasta steps out and says, I don't think so. And the, its guards raise their guns, and she blows them away. and her eyes, yellow up. And she says, "You should have stayed home. Everybody gets one chance and you lost yours." And she pins Prince Tor up against the wall and then just slowly crushes him. You can hear his ribs snap. And she, as he slumps, she comes back to herself. And she starts to cry. And she wipes her eyes and cleans herself up. And she goes back to Jakarta, and Jakarta says, "What was all that?" And Jocasta says, "Just taking care of some old business. Nothing that need bother you."
Oh, that was definitely a dark
So
road.
She went dark side in order to keep her sister from being corrupted.
Does that seem like a permanent thing, or like is this a temporary thing that they're on the planet, or?
Oh, Jocasta would then leave. She's like, "You're in good hands now. And I'll come back to visit." So Jocasta and Trisina come and probably see Wynn at the rocket arena or wherever she is.
Yes.
And last but not least, Danny, for a win, you got a mixed result as well on trying to gain enough influence to get your rocket skate crew a stadium. What does that look like?
I think that, they come blazing in because as soon as like the skiff gets back to the ship, when it's like, "I got a place to be. I got to be somewhere right now." And like probably like they hustle back in time that like she still has half of an Alarian hairdo on while trying to like pull a rocket skate on to make this match. And I think it goes really well. And I think that it's exciting. They're able to like draw like an interested crowd and then a slightly more interested crowd, like people who didn't expect to be there are there and enjoying themselves. And Wynn sees the gruff-faced cyborg protector person kind of in the crowd looking a little bit like a sourpuss, and she makes sure to do like a couple special tricks on her skates, like in front of him, like several, some kind of like side handstand on the rail. And I think that word gets back to Larce. I think either she shows up in his office or word gets back to him that like, "Hey, we should actually prioritize this." But I think one of the things is, he's like a bright-eyed entrepreneur, is like, "Okay, cool, so this will be a great addition to my brand. So like if you could help promote like us, like I can do this for you." And she has to like always tag like his like Larche Industries or whatever like on her
Oh,
stuff.
you're a sellout. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's your
I think that then you see her, she comes across like a card, like sees a trading card of like some athletes, and she like grabs hers, but it's like of the rocket skate kind of like team, and then Larche is like in front kind of standing there, so like you can hardly see her on the
Aw.
card, and she's just like, "I have yet to achieve this successfully in a way." Yeah, but she does, but yeah, gets a rocket skate stadium, and the team is thriving.
All right, fantastic. So that will bring our series to a close. Thank you all so much for playing. I had a great time, and thanks for being patient as I tweaked and kind of changed the thing as we were going. It was a building a airplane as we were flying it type deal, and I appreciate that. Thank you all for playing, and hopefully
Yay.
you would have watched. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, it was such a good time that I'm sad that it's over.
Yeah,
All
And
right,
envious of Danielle, for whom it is not over.
it's true. It's true.
hopefully.
So I'll bring the
hopefully.
recording to a close here. Thanks, everybody.